We got our ice cream into stores and then we decided to stop. Why? It nearly broke our business. Most people think getting the ice cream into stores is the big goal and it changes everything, but it doesn't. And I'm going to explain exactly why. In 2019, we decided to try and expand our business by developing pints that we sold into retail stores. And we did that. We grew and we branched out into a range of retail stores. But then we stopped taking on any more orders, we stopped doing this, and we completely shifted away from the CPG side. Why did we do that? From the outside, it looked like we were growing, but in reality was this CPG side of the business was actually damaging us more than we could afford. But to really understand what is going on, we have to break down the cost economics of what is involved in actually selling a retail pint of ice cream. If you don't know what I'm talking about one of these. You've seen it everywhere, Ben & Jerry style, standard ice cream format. It's a 16-ounce pint container, grab and go, perfect for storing at home and selling in grocery stores. But to really understand what is going on, we need to break down the unit economics of what it takes to actually make and sell one of these to retail stores. So let's keep it simple. Let's say you sell this for $10 final cost at your local grocery store. Consumer comes in, buys this for $10. Now, usually what happens is those retail stores, they want to make at least 40% off of that final $10 for themselves. That's usually the minimum amount they want to make. So that immediately means that the lowest you can sell them to this is $6. You've gone from 10 all the way down to 6. See where I'm going with this? Next up, you've got to factor into how you're going to get your product there. Distribution. A distributor will want that cut. Depending on the type of distributor and what is involved, you're going to be looking at least an extra 20% being taken off of that. So now you're down to the $4, $5 mark. But wait, this isn't a normal product. This is a frozen product. That means the distributor has to keep it frozen. That means they have to transport it frozen. That means we got to get it to them frozen. So that's an extra cost involved. You might now be from that $4 mark, you may be down to $3 on a pint. Then you got to take account of how are you going to get it to the distributor? Are they going to pick it up for you? How are you going to deliver it frozen? Is it being picked up from your warehouse? How are you going to package this so it can be transported to the distributor? They don't want single items, they want it palletized. That's an extra cost involved. Now suddenly your $3 is down to around the $2 range, maybe even the $1.50 range. That is not a lot left. And we haven't even included one of the most important things, production costs. So from that $1.50 to $2 that we have left, we have to factor in our production costs. Once you take account production costs and what your ingredients are, you're going to be making maybe 50 cents, maybe a little bit more on your product. And where this gets particularly hard is when you use premium ingredients. So for a brand like us, where we use premium ingredients, I make this from just cocoa, dates, sea salt, and organic unsweetened peanut butter. It's a really great product, but it is not cheap to make. That's why when you go to the grocery store and you pick up any other type of ice cream, what you will see is a lot of fillers in there. Water, dairy, milk, other things. You need something to bulk it out that is cheaper to get that production cost low because your margins are being squeezed so much. So the reality was the way we make our ice cream just doesn't work at scale. So why does anyone even bother to go to CPG in the first place? Well, if you can get your ingredient cost to such a low base, then that's when the volume and the power of CPG comes into place. If you are making 50 cents, but you're in 20,000 locations across the US, suddenly looking at a pretty good return. This only works when you can have a real control of your pricing and your costs. You need to make something that works for CPG. The way we make our ice cream, it just doesn't. It's too expensive. I sell it for $16.95. CPG, over the long term, once you reach scale, you got to get it down to maybe $4 or $5 a pint of ice cream. So your margins are really getting squeezed a lot more. So for us, we would have to completely change the formula of our ice cream. So in 2022, we decided to stop doing CPG products. There was a point where all I was doing was making pints and physically delivering them. What broke the system was that our suppliers asked for us to get with a distributor. I was making everything here in the back of our store. And if you haven't seen how small my ice cream store is, I'm gonna show you, because it is, our production kitchen is absolutely teeny tiny. Let me show you. Well, this is the back. This is our production kitchen. It is super tiny. Everything's made on that machine right over there. And we did not have a lot of space. So that was the deciding factor there. We had to stop because it made more sense for us to push pints in the store that we could sell for a premium at $16.95, and we get all of that margin involved. There's no one else taking the costs out. Retail often looks like it is the ultimate goal. It looks like more money, but often it's more complexity, it's lower margins, it's more hassle. You're relying on someone else to sell your product, to distribute your product. You're relying on someone else to adequately advertise your brand and your product. And if it doesn't move, you're the one that pays for that. So we had to make a decision. Do we double down on the CPGs, or do we focus on what was working already? We control the pricing, we control the experience, we control the ingredients, we control how it's stored, and the cost involved for us is literally just ingredients. If you're thinking about CPG, it is tough. What you really need to decide is your product a CPG worthy product? Have you got enough in there to bake into all those margins? And on top of that, take account of extra marketing costs that you have to add into that. Often you'll be making cents on the dollars when it comes to CPG, but the goal is to be able to have a volume so large that that doesn't count. But to get to that volume is the hard part. And this is why you see a lot of dry goods do really well in the CPG space. Crisps, popcorns, cookies, those kind of artisanal things traditionally have a lower cost base to produce, but also you can use slightly better ingredients because you don't have that extra distribution, and that's why they do so well traditionally in that CPG space. For us, stepping away from the CPG world was a hard decision, but one we don't regret. It forced us to focus on our individual store and what we do best, and it let us build a better business model that let us represent the best and highest quality ice cream that we can make. Big love.